The Valley said the Valley needs a lot of federal money to help clean up some former factories, like sort of like the old Farrell building, a lot of old buildings in Ansonia, so the land can be redeveloped. What are you hoping? What would you do to help secure those funds?
Well, I'll fight like a badger. I'll do everything in my power, obviously, to bring every dollar to Connecticut. But cleaning up those facilities is the first step. And the most important step comes after that, and that is creating the types of high-wage, high-tech jobs that folks can raise a family on and live the American dream on. And that's something, obviously, that I have the experience of doing. When I got back from the service, I successfully put together a medical software company. We started from scratch, and we built it up. It's the very type of high-wage, high-tech company that we're losing here in Connecticut. And from my perspective, it's exactly why we need somebody who isn't a career politician to go to Washington and to be able to put the necessary programs and policies together to create those jobs here in Connecticut.
Okay. If elected, how would you help the Valley's struggling downtowns, specifically Ansonia, Derby, and Shelton?
Again, I think that the most significant piece of this is to create jobs. When folks don't have money, you start to see the smaller stores closing. You see the pizza shops close. You see the florists close. You see all of the smaller support businesses close. The single most important thing we can do, the best social welfare program ever created, is a good private sector job. And that's what we need to focus on. I think for a very long time, Washington and Hartford have not understood that. And I intend to bring that to the forefront because it's good jobs that we need here in Connecticut. That really is the big difference.
So you want to try and fix those downtowns and get more businesses down there?
I do. I grew up in a small town. When I was a kid, the town of Colchester, Connecticut had about 5,500 people. And as a kid, I saw how if folks had good jobs, they could support a thriving downtown, even in a smaller community. I believe in that. I don't want folks to have to travel 20 miles to go to a store. I don't want them to have to travel that far to go to a nursing home to see a loved one. I want people to have thriving communities here in Connecticut. And the only way to make that happen is by creating private sector jobs.
Okay. All right. Did you have any indication that Senator Dodd was going to be dropping out of the race?
Well, other than the calls and emails at 4 o'clock in the morning,
okay.
that was the indication. And so, as I said, the day he got out, I commended him on a great career in the U.S. Senate. I think all of us as citizens of Connecticut owe him a tremendous thanks. He did an awful lot for our state and for our nation. And I wish him and his family all the best going forward. I sent him a letter wishing him well within hours of his getting out of the race.
Do you think you more identify with someone like Dodd as opposed to maybe someone like Mr. Blumenthal?
Well, what I identify with is the average citizen of Connecticut. I was raised by a single mother. I struggled through poverty. My father left when I was a little boy and I never saw him again. I know from working construction and a series of odd jobs and the loans the people of Connecticut gave me, I was able to go to the University of Connecticut and get on the right track in my life. And then I was able to enlist in the U.S. Army and come back and successfully put a company together and marry a woman who's an immigrant from the nation of Colombia and have 3 little children today. I've lived the American dream, and who I can relate to are the folks all across this state who are struggling to do better, because I was in that situation not long ago. And what I want them to know above all is that they're going to have a tremendous fighter for them in Washington.
Okay. The polls right now showing that Mr. Blumenthal is actually ahead in the polls. How do you think he can catch up?
Well, I look forward to catching up when all the primary votes are counted on August 10th. You catch up by doing exactly what I'm doing. You talk about private sector job creation, clean government, and getting out of Afghanistan. And then you make it very clear that we as Democrats cannot allow Linda McMahon to buy a Senate seat with $50 million of dirty World Wrestling money. That's the wrong answer for the people of this state.
Okay. And the walk, of course, too, is one of the things you're hoping that'll get the attention, that'll kind of separate you from Mr. Blumenthal?
Well, I'm not worried about separating myself from Mr. Blumenthal. I'm just worried about keeping myself close to the people of Connecticut.